friends, breath with friends, breath with friends, it's never going to end.
I'm Bill Blake, your new accountant from Cleveland.
Oh, bro, it's just like, dude, you get the best barrels ever, dude. Just like you pull in and you just get spit right out of them. And you just drop in and just smack the lip. Whoop, drop down, snap, and then after that, you just drop in, you just ride the barrel and get pitted. So pitted like that.
The hammering is moving further away somehow.
Yeah, I know. We had some construction work done. They're putting a back patio over here, and they were pounding up until just about 5 minutes ago. So they're going for it too. So I understand, but now they stopped, and that was all lovely.
By the way, do you hear should I use headphones or do you hear an echo of yourself or anything?
No, I'm not hearing echo.
Okay.
Echo?
No, actually.
Yeah. I think we're good. I think the echo happens when people are using StreamYard or something like that. Because I was on a couple of podcasts where people are doing that and there was an echo delay.
Or external speakers probably also.
Yeah, it's a trippy thing because I did that When a Stranger Calls podcast with Howie Mandel and Harlan Williams. And there was a slight delay, but it wasn't as bad. They're getting better at the delay thing because it trips people up because you're in a delay. And so, but there's better ones. But this is fine. We don't have delays here on the Brettwoods with Friends podcast.
Cool.
So, Sahil Bahl, right? Am I
Yeah.
pronouncing your last? Sahil Bahl, like Lucille Ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we've got a lot of catching up. This is very exciting. Welcome to my 144th episode of Brettwoods with Friends.
Wow.
Sahil Bahl. It's been, how long has it been since we've seen or talked to each other?
Yeah, I don't know, 20 years. It's been a long time, man. I'm not even joking.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're recording all this. This is gold. So wait, okay. So you lived on Dudley.
Yeah, I lived in your attic.
Oh, all right. Now we get it. Because I was like, did Sahil live with me, or did he?
No.
I mean,
So
you
first
did.
I lived next to you. I was your next door neighbor, and then I went away, and then somehow I came back and lived in your attic.
How was the attic experience for you?
I remember being warm, but it was a good experience because you were always creating downstairs, and it was all like a wide open room. I remember, and then you were always making stuff, and I was inspired too. I started oil painting in your front yard and stuff. I remember doing that. So yeah, I liked being there. It was nice.
Nice, good. So I wasn't a jerk or anything like that.
No.
Okay. So you know what I'm doing is I'm going through this. Okay, one of the pet projects I was shooting my entire time that I was there from Dudley, even before then when I first got to LA, I basically documented with video. I don't know if you ever saw me shooting video around there.
I remember you were doing that. Yeah.
Well, I got 70 hours of footage from that time. So it covers about a 10 to 12 to 20 year period.
Wow.
So I took a little peek at that footage recently.
Yeah.
And it was very humbling. You know how cocky we were, or I was when we were younger, and I think there's a lot of, for me, we'll get to you in a second, but we're gonna, but it was a trip because the stress level, and let me know if this is where I want to get we sort of do a past, present, and future sort of guideline on this show. So, I tripped out because I went there with a mission, and I'm sure I want to hear your story, but I definitely, because I was writing Return to Sender, which I did for 5 years, and that was supposed to be produced by Steve Odekirk. I had a lot of it was this. I don't know. I guess I was cocky a little bit. How was your when did you arrive into LA? Where are you from originally? Did you arrive into LA from someplace else? Tell us your story. You're a musician, singer, songwriter, and you've been gone living in Amsterdam for 10 years now? And you just got back to the States?
I've been gone for 15 years. Yeah, I was living in The Hague, so not far from Amsterdam, but in the same country, in the Netherlands. But I moved to LA from New Jersey, where I grew up. I moved there to LA when I was 18. That was in 2001 or 2002, something like that. a really long time ago. And then yeah, and then a couple years later, then I ran into you. Then I was living in Venice. It's like in my early 20s. It was like 21 or something when I was living in Venice Beach. Uh, yeah. So and I didn't come out for like any. I didn't. I wasn't even like really a musician then. I was like I always played guitar by myself at home and everything, but I wasn't writing songs and that kind of stuff. And I actually was really into film, and that's kind of what brought me out to LA. It was a combination of being in the film and trying to get away from New Jersey as far as possible. And but I didn't have any like huge aspirations, like LA aspirations. I just wanted to be around that like dreaming sort of creativity stuff. And then eventually, like really quickly, I saw that like the film business was not um I just wasn't like super into it. You know, I love film and I did work in parts of the film business in a way, but like it was I just started playing music out and I started writing songs, and then music became like the thing that I really enjoyed doing in LA. And I was never, I just liked to play. I like to write songs and go play. I honestly didn't care about like, I had a lot of friends that were really trying to like make it in the business and everything. Like I just didn't care. I just wanted to write songs, and like I loved that there were so many places to play, and it never got old. Like you could be in the city for the longest time and not play every single place, you know, and I love that idea, you know. So that's basically what I was doing all those years.
And how did you you've obviously been you haven't stopped since then. What did you who are some of your the people that you looked up to music wise that you didn't real I mean you obviously went there for once to do one thing and you kind of found your voice with music. Were there any looking back on your time like growing up, did you I remember that stuck in my ear and I was inspired by that, even though maybe subconsciously or consciously, or was there motivations or inspirations?
Well, like stylistically, I don't listen to people that do what I do actually. Like the singer-songwriter thing is not like I mean, when I was a kid, I was really into Bob Dylan. I had a phase with that when I was like maybe I saw him when I was 16.
Nice.
He was horrible.
Really?
Yeah, he was like totally broke my heart. I saw Phil Lesh and Friends opened up for Bob Dylan. I was a Grateful Dead fan too, so that was really cool. But Phil Lesh, they were good, and then Bob Dylan was like just super drunk, and it kind of like, and that was I was really into that album Blood on the Tracks, which is still singer songwriter wise one of my favorite albums of all time. But yeah, it kind of like you know, my hero was a bit diminished at that point, but it didn't last. I love Bud Dylan. It's fine. Everyone,
Bob,
he's human, you know.
yeah.
But yeah, I most of my like influences and actually things like that. If I think about LA, I was like a rock guy. So I mean, for me when I was a kid and I listened to The Doors at some point a lot, and that was like a really LA band. And Guns N' Roses, I was the biggest Guns N' Roses fan for a long time. So um, the Chili Peppers I liked a lot. So like those kinds of bands that were like really LA.
Yeah.
You're not a Chili Peppers fan?
Stop doing that. Stop. Don't do that. Don't scat. I mean, you don't do that. Don't do that. Like Hilda, like we have a joke, like you know, the producer's like, okay, keep on with that. No, and no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't zippity doo da don't do that. Just go with them with the rest of the song. Don't do that part.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, they're a quintessential LA band, but they really didn't really never. Under the Bridge was a good song.
Yeah, I mean it's different strokes for different folks, but those are like I just remember like reading about because I used to have guitar magazines and stuff because I was a guitarist when I started when I was young, like 11 years old or something. So I would like cut out pictures of all the guitar people and put them on my wall, and you know like, and so it was always about LA. Like everyone was coming from LA, you know. I mean Rage Against the Machine was big back then too. It was like a big LA band. So it was kind of like, I mean, I used to read about Guns N' Roses and even the Doors back in the day, you know, like at the Roxy and the Whiskey and all those clubs and like building this LA following and, you know, all that stuff.
I love the Doors. I was in the movie The Doors.
Were you?
Yeah, there's a montage sequence uh, uh, we were shooting. He had like it was such a fun set. They closed down Haight Ashbury, and I was dressed as a sailor. And there's a montage. I actually had the longest montage shot in that little Haight Ashbury where I'm looking at a guru, this old man with hair, and I'm like looking like this.
Oh shit.
They had the camera spin around us and stuff like that. But and I also made on the back of the album cover
Nice. The back
soundtrack.
soundtrack cover. Oh,
Yeah, I'm the guy out of focus at the bottom of his legs when he's jumping in the air. You'll see me like this. I'm in white because I still have the sailor suit on.
that's super cool.
And there's two cops beside my buddy was one of the cops. But I'm out of focus. But I want to buy that album. Anyways, I love the Doors. But I have a I saw Rob. I don't know. Were you there at the end of Dudley when Robbie Kruger played with Peace Frog at the Candle Cafe? And there's like probably maybe 60 people there, and Peace Frog just kicked the shit out. Robbie Kruger's fucking jamming. You know the guitarist, right? That's Robbie Kruger. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a fucking good show. And I also saw the 2001 Doors with Ian Ashbury singing.
Oh, nice,
I
nice.
saw that. He sounded good. Anyways, they sounded great. Anything Doors related. I'm a special affinity for all those guys.
I was living on Dudley when that happened, I'm pretty sure, but I did not happen to be there.
There's only a handful of people. They didn't tell anybody that. I didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah, I didn't know. I found out about it like a few days later, so I was like, "What the fuck?" I don't even know if I was just sitting at home, like like
Probably.
there. But
I would have came and got you if I'd known. I think I randomly saw myself there. It was such a good time. So great to hear the real stuff in person.
yeah,
Tony's a great singer he's he's the lead singer of Peace Frog. He's in cahoots with all those guys. He's like family with those guys. But so we had a good during the 2000 or you got to LA in 2001.
yeah.
And how long did you stay?
I left in 2010, actually. So it was 8 or 9 years. Yeah, and then I went to Germany for a year, and then I went to the Netherlands for 14 years. And I was only supposed to be there for like maybe 2 years or something, and I ended up there for 14 years. So and now I'm back. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about why did you leave LA to go to Germany?
I left LA to go to Germany. I was just finishing, like in all the years I was just kind of working, and I'd take some classes and stuff. And eventually I got a bachelor's degree in music business from CSUN in Northridge in the Valley. And then I was just graduating, but I was dating a German girl. And basically yeah.
There's the story. There's the story. You followed a German girl back to Germany.
Yeah, you could say that. And then I was with her, and we had a kid out there in Germany. I have a kid who's coming to join me here very soon.
Wow.
He's an old man now. He's 14 now.
Yeah. I was waiting for that part.
Yeah. But so my kid's born in Germany. We moved to the Netherlands because my ex, his mom was she was a musician. She is a musician also, and she wanted to study, so she got accepted in the conservatory there. And I was figuring out what I was going to do, so I kind of went there, and then started a life there.
Wow.
And my kid went into the school system, and then next thing you know, it's 14 years.
And can I ask how you were making a living during this time?
Oh yeah, sure. In the beginning, I was doing whatever. I mean, I worked in kitchens. What did I do? Oh, I was a postman. I was a postman for like 2.5 years or something. The whole time I was playing a lot of gigs. So that was like, I wouldn't say that was my main income, but I'll tell you this, it was easier to get paid over there like regularly than it would be in LA. And then it was
for gigs.
Yeah, it was like I was constantly playing, and I was making like a bit of money at that. But I was also teaching kind of part-time over the years. I was teaching guitar, and I did many things, but those are the main ones. And then eventually I started my own business teaching, and so I was doing that, especially around the time when the pandemic happened. Like the gigs stopped, and then all of a sudden I was like a full-time teacher for a while. And then
what age group?
I taught everything. Yeah, like anything from I starting at six. That's my I would never go below that. I made that mistake before, but six to like I was teaching retired people that were just enjoying their free time and
Were
wanted
you
to.
more like tutoring on a one-on-one individual basis, or were you in class situations?
I did both. I was like at home. I had my home studio, whatever. I was teaching one-on-one mostly, and then I also worked at a music school where I taught like classes with like about four people at the most. And that was like all ages and stuff like that. So I did that for a while, and then but then I started also during the pandemic because music. I know with a lot of artists and especially a lot of performers, it really like rattled people. But even with everybody, like even people working on shows and things, because it just stopped. And it was the first time in my life that I couldn't really play music, like out, and it really messed with me. And so then I started building more because I'm trained as a viola da gamba builder. It's a Baroque instrument that looks like a cello. So I have a formal training that I got over in Europe doing that. And at that time when the pandemic happened and we were on lockdown and everything, I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to build stuff. So I started building more, and I built a couple lap steel guitars because I play lap steel, and then I started working for the last year I was there. I was working almost basically full time for a company called Aristides, which is like the I think the greatest modern guitar company right now. Like it's in Haarlem in the Netherlands, and like making really only custom guitars. Um, so really innovative kind of stuff. And so I was doing that right before I left, basically.
Wow. So you became a skilled like cobbler for that's a very specific cobbler's a shoe, but like your very specific instrument situation. That's must
Yeah,
have been
a luthier. Luthier is the name. Yeah, I became a luthier.
oh wow. So that's gotta be has that do you think that's changed or how's that changed the music that you make now that you know what goes into making a good instrument? Does it change anything? Or do you have a
It will, because like it changed my taste in instruments, I think. The more I was getting into building them, now I know like because when you buy an instrument, and I've been buying instruments since I was a kid, since I started playing, and you're kind of like there are certain standards that other companies do, and you get used to. You're like, okay, this is a Fender Strat, this is how it sounds, this is how it plays. But once you start making custom instruments, it's like, oh, there are no rules really. Like the rules and you can break them. And especially now in guitar building, it's like it's a beautiful time because there's just so much innovation going on, and people like I was working at a company where we were building six, seven, eight, nine-string guitars. Like it's this stuff 20 years ago was not like a regular thing. You'd have like maybe one of these here and there. But now it's like there are a lot of people playing all these different things. It's changed like tunings and things. So one thing I can say is like with that my company right before I left, I was like, I want one of these guitars. They're super
cool.
expensive, and I was like, I have to get one for myself as a sort of keepsake to go to LA. So I started building one, and then my colleagues finished it off for me after I left, and so that's going to be arriving here in the next like month or two, and that's a baritone guitar, which is a in between a regular guitar and a bass,
Mhm.
and it's six strings, but like so that's going to fully change how I play because the tuning is way lower, and it's going to change how I write and everything, and I'm super up for it. So
Nice.
yeah, it's changed a lot, the luthier thing. I'm very, and I'll also do like yeah, it just changes how I treat my instruments, how I set them up, and all sorts of things. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gotta be yeah. What was your favorite thing about teaching?
My favorite thing about teaching is the if I had to name one favorite thing, it's the moment when you see somebody grow like in a big way, and you see like how satisfying that is because I know how that is as someone who's spent like the majority of my life playing an instrument. Uh, when you get to like I know how it feels when you get better and you're like, yeah, and when you get to see that with especially with young people, like teaching older people, it's also cool, but when you see it with young people, you're like, oh man, they've got like you see a 14-year-old like just so into it and getting better and better and better. And you're like, wow, in 10 years, what is this person going to be doing? And that's the best thing, I think.
Yeah, when they see that light up. I taught art to children in after school programs for a while.
Yeah.
And like you get these, I taught from like anyways, they're crazy. You get 30 of those guys in a room, it's nuts. But I remember this little girl, like we were doing a little 8x10 drawings, crayons and everything. And you give these kids material, they use it all up. And like she made a big heart that was like basically covering the every little bit of that paper, like just a powerful bull, just like a radiating heart where she just took up it wasn't a heart in the middle, it was the whole page. And I was like, oh, you're gonna make me cry. It's just so she goes, what do you think about this, Mr. Brett? And I was like, oh, stop it. I'm gonna cry. Just because there's so much they're unfiltered and they can they don't have the layers of obviously what gets built up over time and people stop creating. They have that open vessel of like pure.
Yeah, they haven't been hopefully, they haven't experienced too much failure, and that doesn't even have to be in art. But I really think that people, when as you get older, you're going to experience rejection, failure, these types of things, and you deal with it, and how you deal with it, allows you to grow as an adult and everything. But those kids don't have that yet. So sometimes when I would teach people that were a bit older, they'd already have this inherent thing where they're like, I can't do it. And kids don't have that. Some kids that were really talented, I would challenge them and give them really more difficult stuff than I should have for that age, because they would just accept this is my teacher. He's telling me I can do this. I have to do it, and those kids would progress super fast. So yeah, and with me, I officially retired from teaching because I had some students for maybe 8-9 years, a long time. I had taught the same students there. And so I had seen so much growth and everything. And I told them too, I was like, when I leave the Netherlands, I'm done teaching, because you guys were I would never want to try to do that again. It was just so amazing, to have them for so long that I couldn't imagine starting over and going through and teaching some beginners and stuff. I had taken some people so far and seen how much they had grown. So I officially retired. I won't teach anymore, but I love it. It just has a very special place for me,
Yeah. Now it's also, in a way, that experience is probably gonna propel your creativity as well. You can see you get when you're exchanging like that, like inspiring and stuff like that it's like a stand-up doing comedy. The reaction from the audience, that energy that you get back is very you can use that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've got enough of that in me to keep going on that fuel for a while, I think.
Good, because you're back in LA, you're gonna need it. Okay, so let's get to this. So now that I just got through having a trip in LA. I was just there for 10 days, do a recon mission for smart supplies and stuff like that my buddy Mattel's art. I went through Palisades going south. Ooh,
wow.
Man,
I haven't seen it. Yeah, I tried to go there when I first got my car here, and it wasn't happening. There was a lot of there were police out there and a lot of construction vehicles. I was like, okay, now's not the time. So
I listed the 20. They have a 25-mile-per-hour thing going through that area, and that's probably going to be like that for at least 6 to 9 months.
Yeah.
So, but it's it makes you feel a little. I mean, I made the video. I'm gonna edit it together. It's come out way too long, but I documented the trip back and forth. But it's a stunner. It's makes you feel like my friend had commented, because I was going through there and I said something. I'm probably not going to use it for the final video, but it's something where as I was looking through it and it was such a emotional. You don't know. It makes you feel in different directions. And I was like, man, this place is fucked. It's eat the rich. And she didn't like that comment. And I didn't mean it as in a mean way, but it's just you're a little lost for words. It's very devastating to see in person. You get to see where where, oh, that building, oh wait, shit, I recognize that oh, that's not there.
Yeah.
That's what you can see the perspective of it. But man, and then I got back here, and then the protesting and all that shit started happening,
Oh
which,
yeah.
which is great. I mean, No King's Day is a fantastic thing. But so give me your, like, you've been gone for 14 years. I also want to know about Amsterdam, but now that you are back here, what are you seeing? How are the optics for you? How's it? It must be some sort of time melting warp in your brain.
Yeah, that I mean, I have a coworker that where I'm working, and he said I am like a time capsule or something, you know. It's really interesting coming back because things have changed a lot actually. Like LA, it still has things that it always had. Like it has an identity that's so strong with the especially with the industries that are here, the entertainment industry, like that is still present. It's present in like so many people that I meet and everything, and I'm working in it, you know. But things have changed. I don't know. It just also I'm living in a different area completely now. I'm not on the west side anymore, so that's also I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm in Echo Park now, which is like completely different. Um, so I don't know how much of it is my time capsule thing and how much is also like it's a totally different vibe out here.
Have you
But
been to Venice yet? Have you been back to Venice yet?
well, not no. Well, I went through. I had to pick something up, some furniture I bought out there, so I drove into there yesterday, but I didn't spend much time. I've been in the West Side a couple times. I was because I lived all over there. I lived in West LA, Mar Vista, Santa Monica at some point. Santa Monica is way different. I gotta say that is like that one. That was shocking because my friends told me when I came here, they were like, because I was actually looking for a place on the West Side, and I quite after a couple weeks I was like, nope, the West Side is not it anymore. Like, and I had some friends tell me they're like, don't hang out in Santa Monica. And I was like, what are you talking about? You know, and they're like, yeah, the crime is really bad and everything. And I did go out to Santa Monica. It's depressing, man. It bums me out because it's Santa Monica was never my favorite place on the West Side, but it was like stuff that I kind of knew. It just seems very boarded up and very abandoned, and that's weird, you know. And
Are you
yeah,
talking about are you talking about like the promenade specifically, or just what areas of Santa Monica?
lots of places. Yeah, like not the promenade. I mean, yeah, I've been to the promenade and it is really empty, which is weird. But I actually, to tell you the truth, I never liked the promenade when I lived in LA before because it was always a bit like it was all just too ritzy and stuff. It wasn't like I liked that there was
Early days, it was fun. I used to walk down there and smoke a joint, walking through the middle of it. It was
yeah,
back in the heyday. It was really fun.
it was nice when there were street performers there. That I missed the liveliness of it. So I will say, yeah, Third Street is depressing. It's like super weird. But it's more like I'm talking about like downtown Santa Monica as a whole. Like
Yeah.
there's so many places that are just like time forgot, and they're abandoned, and it's like really weird to see because I remember when it was kind of like lush and there was a lot of activity down there, but now
Rose-colored glasses, very younger. It was a better time as well.
but it was different. Santa Monica, what I saw
Yeah.
about
Oh yeah.
the West Side in general, like I was looking for a place out there, and at some point I was like, screw this, because like everything kind of went to shit. As far as like they haven't maintained those buildings very well. It feels like I walked in, like I left 15 years ago and everything went down. Nobody took care of anything, and yet the prices went up. It makes no sense. So I very quickly was like, all right, this plan of moving to the West Side is like done. I'm going somewhere else, and I ended up in Echo Park, which is super nice, and I'm really happy with that decision. But yeah, it makes me a little bit sad to see the West Side how it is now because I think I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on, but it's just the numbers aren't adding up over there, you know?
It's I gotta say I got a little depressed as well when I went back through there last. But
It's
also at the same time I was like, oh, okay. It was I just think I had it for 25 years or 30 years. I guess there's still life. I never want to die in Venice. I saw too many people die there. I knew I was going to live there forever. I love Venice, but it's like there's Oregon's such a pretty time of year here, and hiking and stuff like that. But and the world too. But like it was intense. It's intense. It's I think my perspective, definitely what I wanted to get out of it, I think I can already do whatever I want to do out there, here, or anywhere now.
When did you leave, actually?
I left, gosh. I think, well, I mean, I would go back and forth from Oregon to here. But like, I mean, I kept on coming back up until like COVID. COVID, what I kind of closed. Cosmo and Celeste passed away 3 weeks apart. 3 weeks
Really?
apart, right before. She died like December 23rd, and I had an art gallery show. I had a gallery. It had this crazy art show with multiple artists, and then 3 weeks later, Cosmo had him on a road trip to Santa Cruz, and he died on that trip. So he left his body in the mountains, like they're gonna cremate him. But and then COVID happened, and then I moved back here. But I've always sort of been coming back and forth from, this is Oregon City right now. I'm usually in Salem, but even Salem's looking bleak to me right now. I guess I just need something more. But 2000, I mean, I moved back so many different times in various parts and moved back to LA off and on. But now I don't think I'm going to move back ever again.
Yeah.
At this point, I think I want to keep on making my little movies and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and keep on creating art. I'm getting a lot done here.
Yeah.
But it was like, yeah, we had it really good. I mean, I can't, I even, when we got that were you around when we got that relocation money from moving out of Dudley?
Oh, it rings a bell.
Did you
I
miss
don't.
that stuff? Did you miss that money?
I did. I definitely.
Oh, no.
Yeah. No, but I heard about it. I was still around. I had moved somewhere else, but yeah, I remember hearing about that.
But anyways, 2008, the bubble burst. That was sort of the beginning of the end. And you left around that time, right?
I left in 2010.
Okay.
So
So yeah, that was a good time to leave probably. But yeah, I mean, I love LA, but you can, like, creatively now, I don't know. I feel like with the documentary stuff, like the 70 hours of footage, I sort of I got everything cataloged, and it was always by design to re-edit that later in life, but because I was just sitting capturing.
yeah.
So hopefully there's some gold in there. Some of the stuff I saw was like, oh fuck, oh shit, this is gonna be so embarrassing for so many people. It'll be it'll be beautiful.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna call it back in the 90s. But I
Yeah.
got interviews with people, candids. I mean, I was filmmaking the whole time, anyways. But yeah, I mean, that's why I think it's gonna be a trip. Like you just came from Amsterdam after 14 years of there, or 10
Yeah.
years in Amsterdam.
14 years there, 1 year in Germany. Yeah.
Wow, Amsterdam is so amazing. Can you please give us about just drone on about Amsterdam and your experience there? Because I went there and I have a film that I'm editing still, but I got to get a transfer from PAL. But um, I did a painting from Amsterdam to London and documented it. Then don't have the painting anymore, lost it somewhere. But that place is so multicultural and so beautiful and so old and so many cool, beautiful people. What was your experience? When you first got there, did you do any research on it, or did you just go?
No, I didn't know anything. I only had like moving to the Netherlands, I just had kind of the idea that people from the US have about it being really free and, because the weed was legal there forever and prostitution and all these things. But so I had that, but like I didn't really know what I was getting into.
You're doughy-eyed and fresh-faced, cute kid coming into Amsterdam. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
but I
That's
didn't live in,
invulnerable.
I never lived in Amsterdam. I lived in The Hague the whole time. So The Hague is like, 45 minutes away from Amsterdam on the train. It's a very different place. Amsterdam is this sort of very touristy party city, very international, but actually once you live in the Netherlands, for me, from my perspective, Amsterdam was one of my least favorite places. I loved playing up there because it had a really, like, when I would play music, you'd have a lot of Americans in the audience, which is always nice for me. And there was kind of like really international audiences. That was really nice. But Amsterdam for me, it has really beautiful architecture, has great museums, it's cool to visit. But when you live in the Netherlands, for me anyways, it lacks a bit of its own Dutch soul. Whereas like because it's such a tourist place, where people are just coming and going. And so where I lived was like a whole different vibe. That's I consider also really international, but a very Dutch city. Just to tell you, you've got like the population wise, the biggest cities in the Netherlands are Amsterdam, I believe is number one, I want to say. And then I might say this in the wrong order. If any Dutch people, please don't fault me on this. Amsterdam, Rotterdam is probably the second. I don't know if you've ever been there, as it's a whole different vibe. It's a very more modern city. Then you have Utrecht, maybe, or the Hague. Yeah, Utrecht, and then the Hague. So I was in like maybe the fourth largest city, which is 450,000 people. That's it. Which like coming from LA was shocking. How small it is, and it really feels like a little village after a while. You get to know everybody. But we had the beach, the North Sea. There's a town called Scheveningen, and it has a pier and it's a beach town, and we had dunes also. So there was like some nature there. So yeah, but The Hague is it's like a government city. That's where the parliament is. So yeah, I wasn't living like the Amsterdam sort of party life. I was in a very much more, I don't know how to explain it, but not conservative. Yeah, a bit more of a conservative city.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, it's just sort of where I ended up. That wasn't a choice. It was like so my ex, that's where she got accepted into the conservatory, and so I was like, all right. Well, at the time I didn't have a job, and I was like, I had just learned the German language and was looking for work, and I was like, well, we can go to the Netherlands and I'll do something there. And yeah, so that's where I ended up. But yeah, Amsterdam, I like going to visit. I wouldn't want to live there myself. It's also really like overpriced and kind of difficult to find housing and all that stuff.
When I
And
when,
it's,
when I visited there, my buddy that was an American, I dropped him off at the airport with some other friends. That was the last time I saw him. So I visited him, and he's been working in hostels and stuff like that, and doing acrobatics with a group out there. And I already had sort of a friend there, so I sort of got the inside scoop. So I didn't wander around aimlessly, but I did that too. So I'm glad I knew somebody there because I could see how it would have been a different experience if I went there and didn't know anybody.
yeah, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that does help, I'm sure. But it is super international. I don't want to like hate on Amsterdam too much. It just wasn't my favorite place. But like I said, in the Netherlands, it's to this day my favorite place to perform. Like it just has the audiences are just really awesome. Like such a good mix of people, and they're really like up for anything because that city has that sort of like crazy dreamer vibe to it too.
It's a very psychedelic city. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all got all the stuff, the pumps spewing the water out because it's basically they're holding back
Oh yeah.
water, and
Yeah.
so everything's on sand. So all the buildings are all like the
Yeah.
tops of them are all fucked up and like this. So it's like
That's true.
like a Dali painting in a way.
It's true. It is. I never thought about it like that, but it is a psychedelic city. It's true. Definitely.
Oh yeah, you get a stairwell in the middle of the street. You'll start walking around it over a bridge, and I don't know. Well, I also went through Groningen, Holland as well,
Oh yeah.
and that was a trip. But Vundel Park is amazing.
Yeah.
I had a good time. Anyways, I wasn't I
There's
lived
a,
there for 14 years either, so I get
there's a place there. So Vondel Park. There's a place there called Vondel Bunker, and it's like this old bunker that's like underneath the bridge there, and it's really cool. I played there, and it's kind of like a punk spot. There's like in my memory, there's like graffiti on the walls and on the inside and stuff, and it just has a real underground vibe there. I think I played there like a couple times. I've seen some really cool bands and shows there, so it definitely like it has cool spots for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a trip. I mean, I'd love to go there again. I would love to go there again. So wait, so you're not so being in that psychedelic that not like you're in Amsterdam, but like being in that sort of more liberal, like coming to the States. I mean, are you tripping out at all?
No, the Netherlands is not as liberal as it seems.
Oh, okay, not you're more conservative part of it, The Hague.
No, but even Amsterdam, like the thing is when you live there, like I had that going in there, I was like, oh, it's liberal because drugs are legal and these types of things. But actually, what it is like the government is just really good at money. Like so they're really good at taxing everything that they can and controlling it. And so that's what I mean by it's not as liberal as it seems on the outside. It's just like they've always been good at money, the Netherlands. They're a very tiny country who have like succeeded in huge ways, like as far as like colonialism, like if you look at that as success, but like financial success, they were this tiny country. Out of all those countries, they were making tons of money. Like
Yeah.
they've always been good at water. That's their main thing. That country's like under sea level, which is the weirdest thing to think about. Because
That's
there's
my
like,
out. Yeah.
yeah, no, it's crazy. Like I remember thinking about it quite regularly that like in the U.S. you have like, in California you got wildfires, you got earthquakes. Other parts of the country you have like hurricanes, tornadoes, all these things. The U.S. has like a lot of potential for natural disasters, and in the Netherlands, it feels like there's nothing except for the constant threat of like the entire country being wiped off.
Yeah.
Like
You get these like Terry Gilliam things. I saw this, I didn't know what it was. It's like this big machine, like
yeah,
these tubes out, and I was like, "What the fuck is that thing?" And they're oh, that's then they explained, "Oh, that's what's keeping the water out from us drowning." I was like, "How many are there of these things?"
and that whole entire like the canal system that you see in Amsterdam, you see it in every city, and all the farmlands or the farms are like surrounded by these sort of like little canals, like little moats, and it's all this like super intricate system that they've devised to be able to like have the water spread out and not like go on.
it's
Like,
so wild.
yeah.
It's a it's a trip, but it's been a while since I've seen it. But just the whole constant like there's this almost like a pacemaker on the place keeping it alive. It's like this
Definitely.
little
Yeah.
machines everywhere, and the pissers you can still pee. There's just a little thing. You basically walk up to it and just pee, but your
Yeah.
body would be exposed.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the thing? Yeah, they have ones that like come out from the ground. You're talking about that? Like yeah. They bring at least in the Hague, they would bring them out at night. Like, you're talking about the outdoor urinal things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they would be gone during the day. I swear. Now that I'm saying it, it seems like I'm making it up, but it's true. They would come up like when it's nightlife time, and people are gonna go out. Then like
Yeah.
they would like
Time
the
to
ground would
party.
open up and they'd be like, "Mm," and they would like come out. And I don't think they were there during the day, and then they're there for people to pee in. And when
So
they
you
go,
just whip your dick out and just like start pissing. Hey guys, hey. Yeah.
yeah, I mean only for men. That's the men get urinals. The women have to pee on the street if they're outside. That's
Oh.
yeah.
You got to do something for the ladies.
Yeah, I mean, would seem so, but
Yeah.
they do.
Um, so your music, you did a music video recently that was very impressive. Can we play that on the show?
Yeah, sure.
And
Yeah.
I'll send it, I'll rip it, and I'll edit it into the show. But maybe we could talk about it, and then introduce it, and we'll act like we played it, and we'll come back, but we'll actually be here the whole time.
Okay.
But like talk because it's such a I just like saw it and I was like so like part of me is so proud of you.
Oh,
Like
thanks.
cry almost just because it's such a great thing.
Thank you.
Music and visuals. The whole thing was I loved it.
I appreciate it, man. So should I introduce the video now?
Talk about the making of it. What's this what was inspiration for the song? Let's talk about how to get it made, who are your helpers. Spend 5 minutes describing the process of this thing.
Sure. I mean, so the song is the last song on an EP that I released in actually 2020. So that video took a while to get to, and there's a reason for that. But so yeah, the song is off this EP that I made called "Ask the Child," which is a lot of like there are only 4 songs on it, and it's a common theme of like because all this stuff like I went from New Jersey and moved out to LA, and I was always moving around. I was running around doing everything, not thinking about stuff. And then all of a sudden, I moved to Europe. I had a kid. I learned this language. I learned that language. I was doing this job. All like I just did what I had to do and just ran through it all. And then at some point in my mid 30s, I was like, holy shit, you know, like I had been living for one place for a certain amount of time that I could like kind of stop and look back and reflect on all the craziness that I had done up until that point. And I was like, oh, that's some, you know, like that was some pretty wild stuff. So then it kind of allowed me to like go revisit, you know, those years. That's why it's called Ask the Child, the EP, because it's like this common theme of like I'm going back to like that time and that time, and you know, it was like a therapy for me to then be able to like move on to the next part of my life, I think. And that the video project, so the song is called Here's Hoping. Um, and that song took me so long to write. I started writing that song in LA when I was still living here, when I was like 25 or 26. I couldn't. Okay, I'll tell you a quick story about that song if you want to hear.
Let's do it. I might.
So,
I think I'm getting. I'm going to change slightly because the heat is
yeah.
coming on my back and it is starting to melt me. So this is a good time to change because I am. Ooh wee! I'll get hot for a second. Okay, so hit me.
So, okay, that song, I wrote it, and then it was 3 verses, and I wrote it in LA, and I went and I performed it somewhere once. And it's the only time in my life I ever performed while looking at the lyrics because I didn't have them memorized. It was like so fresh. And it had the last verse was like super long and intricate, like honestly, way too many words. But at the time, I was like, this is the greatest song I've ever written. And then and I performed it, and like it got like a nice response from the audience, and I felt good about it. I used to like always have my backpack with me in LA. I'd always skateboard around, and I'd have like my writing journal in my backpack, my pen in my pocket, and beer back there, and like so that I could like stop and just chill and like and write, and you know whenever, or I could meet people and hey, you want a beer, you know, like, and I would just skate around and listen to music, and that's what I did. And so on one of those trips, after I had written that song and performed it, I had my songbook in my backpack, and I was living in a converted garage behind these people's house, right? And so I wanted to continue my little party of my backpack beer and everything, and like just like chill out and smoke some cigarettes outside and stuff, listen to music. So I went on top of the building that was next door to where I lived, which was like being built, and it was kind of like an empty vessel, you know, like. And so I climbed up to the top, and then I was lying on the roof, looking at the moon, had a great time, you know, like chilled out. Went down, went to sleep in my little garage, and then I woke up the next morning. I was like, "Oh shit! I forgot my backpack up on the roof, right?" And this was like an upstanding sort of family that I was living. You know, I was just the shithead living behind these like good people.
Yeah, a little
Yep.
bag Spider-Man fucking flying around place with a backpack all over the building.
Yeah, right. So, and then all these construction guys were in there, and it was, of course, illegal for me to be like lying on the roof of this place. And I was like, you know what? I could go and like try and get my backpack, but then I don't want to make trouble for like these people I'm living next to that, oh, this guy was hanging out in this building. So I was like, or maybe I was just feeling non-confrontational. I don't know, but I was like, fuck it. I'll leave the bag. I won't get it. So I left my songbook there. I never saw it again. And so that last verse was the only thing that I had never memorized because I was like, I told you I was playing it, looking at it, reading it. So that got lost and I tried for the next, I worked on that song for about a decade because I kept trying to go back and figure out like what the fuck were the words for the last, and then finally I was like, I gotta just rewrite that last verse, but that took forever. And so it took a decade later, I finally finished it, and I realized that the 3 verses were actually like completely different sections of my life, and I didn't know that before, and I couldn't have known it because I was writing that when I was in my 20s, but all of a sudden it's like I'm in my mid-30s, and I was like, oh, now I know how to finish this. So if you like anyone that listens to that song, that if they know this, then it's like, you can see like a section of my like youth, and then it's like me in my time in LA being in my 20s, and then it's like me being like a bit older and slightly wiser, I don't know, and a bit more calm. And so like, and that's what it's about. Like, and I couldn't figure that out. I felt like I don't know, I'm very, I guess, a bit mystical about songwriting, and I was like, oh, that wasn't the time that song was supposed to be done. It took those 10 years for me to figure out what it was about. And so I still love that song. It's like I love it even more for that, I think. And so the video thing, I'll tell you, is I don't know if you remember that I had this Charlie Chaplin style video that I'd done a couple of years ago with me. That's me and my kid running around. And that was in like 1920s style and everything, like how we had. I shot both these videos with the same guy, my friend El Haji, and the idea was actually that the 4 songs, each song would have its own video, and they would all be connected, like, and so that you could actually show them as a short film, like all connected. They go from like seamlessly from one to the next. So we shot them kind of out of order. And the second one, if you go back, and anyone who feels like visiting my YouTube, the song that's called "Keep It With Yours" is a Chaplin style video, and then this song is called "Here's Hoping." They actually go together. Where "Keep It With Yours" ends, it like goes up into the sky, and there's like a ding ding with these 2 stars, and that's where the next video starts, and then it goes down. And yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's got so much depth to it. I mean, gosh, losing her.
Well, so
Yeah. Okay.
okay, so the idea was the videos were all inspired by
Keep on talking. I'm gonna adjust this.
sure. I love old Hollywood and like the history of film in Hollywood and everything. So that's why these videos look like how they look and why the people are dressed like that and everything. They're actually each video, we shot 3 out of the 4, but you've only seen 2. But like they're each based on a specific film from a specific director that I loved when I was growing up, kind of. And so yeah, the first one, I almost don't want to give that away, but yeah, I was always hoping that people that would see the videos would be like, oh, that's that movie. First one is more obvious. That's Charlie Chaplin, the kid.
Yeah.
That's based on. But we did our own thing with it. And then this one, the Here's Hoping one, actually is very, very loosely based, or it's not even based on, it's inspired by It's a Wonderful Life. Because the thing is, they were all going to go from like the 20s and the 40s, 50s, 60s, right? So like this is like then in the 40s, It's a Wonderful Life. But what I did is I chose the. Do you remember that movie, It's a Wonderful Life, with Jimmy?
It's Frank Capra. Come on, I love.
Okay.
I love everything you're saying. I mean, I love these movies. So
okay, so in that movie, they eventually, when Jimmy Stewart's character is in that sort of like Dickens Christmas Carol part, like where he's like being shown what life would be like if he didn't exist. He goes into Pottersville because Potter was like the evil guy who was always trying to take everyone's money and everything and put him out of business. So it shows what it would be if he didn't exist. Potter would rule everything, and so Pottersville, right? So I had the idea of let's start this video at the moment before he's going to kill himself, because in that movie he's going to throw himself off a bridge. I was like, we start from there, and then an angel comes and stops him, and then this wasn't in the movie what we made, but like that the idea was that my character, who I'm Jimmy Stewart in this case, walks into Pottersville, and I was like, how can we show that? I was like, we need a poker game. Like to show like there's a lot of stuff in there. Like my kid is in it too, and I was like, I need a bad kid on the street to show that this is a bad neighborhood. So like he's there asking for money and he's being bad. And then we go into the main part of the video that's really beautifully shot, thanks to El Haji, my friend and director of this. Is inside in this bar, and we made it look it wasn't old looking bar, but we covered up everything that made it look new. And it just looks really old, and it could be from the 40s, and yeah, that scene where it's like this poker game going on, and there's a lot of other stuff going on there too. And we had a little bit of comic relief also going on with a very unfaithful husband. Yeah. So yeah, and that so I wanted to so my thing with all these movies, I'm inspired by them, but I wanted to do them differently. So like I'm Indian, right? So that's why in this video, in the original movie, the angel, what was his name? Can't remember his name right now.
Francis.
What was it?
Francis?
Was it Francis?
Or that was somebody's name in there. I'm trying to sorry, I keep on moving around, but because the lighting is all crazy. But Francis, I thought it was I thought that was Francis. Wasn't it Francis?
I feel like it's something different, but I'm not sure right now. Anyways, doesn't matter. But he was like a older white guy, right? So
Yeah.
I was like, I want to throw a little bit of Bollywood in there because I also love Bollywood. So I was like, I'm gonna make the like my guardian angel in this case be this like Bollywood looking actress. So I got a friend of mine to play that. She's actually not Indian, but we got her a sari and she's wearing a sari. She's Assyrian actually, but like she looks Indian enough, like in
Yeah.
all that stuff. So that was like, yeah, that's kind of the idea. And there's a lot to it, like, but we pulled certain things from the movie, but a lot of it is just like what we, yeah, me and that guy Alhaji, we will sit there and like, I'll come with crazy ideas, and I love him because he'll never say anything's crazy. He'll just think about it and be like, okay, like,
Yeah.
and then
Put it together.
and we'll like brainstorm it, and he'll shoot something back, and then it's the one person in my life that I found that I can really work in such an open way with that I don't feel like anything is too nuts. Like I remember the night that I was going to release that Charlie Chaplin video, I was like, I I called him. I was like, hey, am I crazy right now? Because everybody tries to look super cool in their music videos, and I'm like, I'm doing like the fucking weirdest thing right now. And he's like, no, man, it's good. Just do it, and then he's that guy to me. And
Yeah.
then I put it out, and like people responded so nicely to that. So yeah.
Well, such a great match from I've only seen it the one time, and I should have watched it, but I didn't have time before the show. But I'll obviously be watching it a lot, editing this stuff together. But I just I just it seemed like the music and the visuals really matched and supported each other. Like one was a separate movie, and then you got this really good song, and then you got them both together, and you got this really cool thing.
Thanks, man. Yeah, then it was successful. That's and a lot of that I have to give credit to Alhaji because he is like, as far as like the timing of everything goes, like we write the scripts together, but he's the guy that like I don't know, he makes like, I guess that's like a like digital storyboarding, whatever, but he'll make like a time, what do you call it? Like a timeline. Yeah, so then he's like, okay, from 1 minute to 1 minute and 45 seconds, it's this. And he's so good at like he sticks to that exactly, and when he shoots it, like he knows exactly the timing of everything. It's amazing, he can time everything perfectly. Because that's like, if you look at like a longer film, that I think is easier to do. You have a bit more like leeway, but when you're talking about music videos in general, especially when you're trying to have a story, like I think those people that are able to time things with the music, like it's a talent, like really.
Yeah, the visual, the beat with somebody coming into frame and then blurring the camera, then you cut on that, and then it's another thing. It's a wide shot of something.
That's all him, man. That's all, he gets 100% credit for that. That's his thing.
Yeah, did you see Sinners? That movie Sinners?
It's funny. So I'm seeing it tonight. So don't tell me anything about it because I finally got tickets. I'm going to see it 70 millimeters.
Ooh.
No, because like so right now I'm working as an audio engineer in cinema, like presentation.
Awesome.
So yeah, so I'm going around. I get sent all over the place. I work for a small company, and I'm doing all sorts of premieres and press screenings and stuff like that.
Nice.
And Sinners has been the one where I've known about it the whole time, but I was working like FYC, for your consideration, like 6 days a week, and I couldn't go see it. And I was like, man, I'm gonna end up watching this on my fucking laptop, like.
Yeah, that would be a shame. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, and I'm a film projectionist. That's what I used to be when I lived here. So like, so I'm happy. I finally got tickets. I'm going like at 6:30 tonight. I'm going to finally see that movie.
Yeah, it's I won't say anything about it. Dude, go blind, I guess.
I've made it this long without anyone saying anything, so please don't.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, I would hate to, because I went in pretty blind, and I think I won't say. I won't even give you. I did.
Okay.
I won't
Yeah.
even say anything.
I know it's good. I know it's supposed to be good. That's enough.
It's it's a lot of different things.
Yeah. Okay. We can talk about that after.
All right. Do me a favor. Okay, so I'm gonna get a beer real quick. Do you need to use the restroom or anything?
I can get some more water, maybe.
Okay. Let's introduce a video, and we'll be right back. And I'm just gonna keep everything rolling. And this is your video, and I hope you guys like it. Sahil, Bahl. Who directed it? What's the name of the song?
So the name of the song is "Here's Hoping." The director's last name, he's gonna kill. This is one of my best friends, and he's gonna kill me because I'm not gonna say it right. So it's El Haji Ndayer. I don't think that's right, but yeah.
No, we'll put some applause. That was great. We'll put some applause.
Okay.
Okay, so let's be back here in 30 seconds.
Okay.
Left on a broken promise gave to me. The faster I ran, the past would get winded and die. When weak seemed the ones who stood still in the country, laid pipe dreams down early and grabbed on to children and wives. It's off to the city, boy, free as a melody, hummed by the singer who smiles at forgetting all the words he's ever heard. Speed through the small talk, no time for the revelry, a big-eyed small town, just pushing my luck. And though presence is virtue, I've suffered the penalties of wiping my slate clean, inscribing my future in dust. Hunger and heartache, my youth was a remedy. I'd wake each morning and I'd wonder how long, till it's gone. To the man with a knife at the core of me, once polished by fire is now sharpened by instinct and trust. That the air I take in is the breath of a destiny, drawn to my body by all I can and all that I must. And the strides have been long, but this body is calmed by the breeze. Don't you ever release me. From the child I still feel the young man in my heels. You were always behind, but you were never beneath me. Here's hoping, here's hoping, maybe someday you'll reach me. Here's hoping someday you'll reach me.
Oh, that's better. Okay. So yeah, I love that video. That's great. Congratulations. What are your future plans? Do you have anything that you can leak that is coming up? Like, what are you working on? What do you, now that you're back in LA and you got this great music video behind you and all these stories to put in your instruments coming?
Yeah.
What's your next step?
Well, I've already recorded a follow-up EP, which is completely different. I recorded it in the Netherlands, but I have not done vocals. So right now I'm like looking for a place to just finish up the vocals here. But I recorded, my dream was always to record like, well, okay, the first album I ever did, it was like home recordings kind of, and that was very focused because there's no click track, no metronome. Now everyone does everything to a metronome, So I just wanted to play the songs and sing them and record everything at the same time. There are no edits or anything. So then I always wanted to do that with a band.
Yeah.
And so I did it. I found the right guys in the Netherlands, and who I worked as a session guitarist on a different project with them. And so I hired a couple of those guys, and then we did my project, which is we just played as a band, no click track, no editing. You just had to nail it, and so we did that, and yeah, now I just got to finish up vocals, and that's it's a very different sound. It's a bit more ambient. I actually don't play acoustic guitar on it because all my stuff till now has been acoustic. I play like electric and lap steel a bit. I play the Weissenborn, which is like if you know Ben Harper. Ben Harper plays this acoustic lap steel. That's that instrument. And so yeah, it's a very different thing. A lot more ambience. There's a synth player on it, so I'm really excited. I'm just wrapping it up, and then that's the next thing.
What's an EP? What is? I mean, is that like just a 4-song like thing, or what is an EP, or is that just two one track?
An EP can be anything from, I think the definition would be from like 3 songs to anything less than an album.
Okay.
But this one's probably, we recorded 5, I think. Yeah, it'll either end up being 4 or 5.
So are you going to be doing like working with managers and stuff like that? Like, are you looking for producers, and like, are you represented or doing anything that way, or are you just self-publishing and I mean, what I'm getting at is the music industry. It's really tough to like,
Yeah.
I mean, you saw it pop, right? What year was that? 2008? Was it the same thing when the music industry like totally like imploded? What year was that? You
I
remember?
don't know if there was a specific year that the music
I
industry.
thought there was a thing that is sort of like almost with the housing thing. It's sort of like the music industry kind of everything. Maybe that was when streaming happened or something, something happened where people were getting pissed about music being for free.
It might be I don't know. My perception of that is that it was not a year. It was like a bunch of years. Like ever since Napster,
Okay, that was
there
it.
was a decline. There was at the same time as there was a decline in physical sales, and there was also then all the companies eating each other. And then first it was I think
Yeah,
it was
what
like
was it?
six major labels, and then it was five, and now I don't know if it's four. I don't even know what it is anymore. But where they all like EMI now belongs to Universal, and they all used to be separate. So that was sort of like years in the making. And then when Spotify kind of took things over, yeah, it just made it more and more difficult for musicians to live as musicians. Um, so I think I couldn't pin it on a year. I think it
Yeah,
was
I
like,
thought it was a gradual. I was doing things for X Music. I was shooting video for this like thing that was stupid. But anyways, I did all these interviews with like Goldfrapp and Kings of Leon and shooting these things, but it just that was where the very tail end of it was like the discs were people were not starting to buy
yeah,
discs anymore or something was streaming. That's what happened. But or all these other things. But it seemed like these people wanted to do they're on these press junkets where they had to talk to these because the labels told them they had to talk as part of their press thing to do these interviews. And they Kings of Leon didn't want to have anything to do with us. They're like, what the fuck are these guys? And they gave us 2 seconds, barely answered anything. But the industry is like, I mean, like as I mean, I guess you're just gonna create no matter what, and just do as best and keep on doing all these things no matter what, because that's what you do.
yeah.
And
I'll,
hope,
yeah.
like, what are you hoping? How can you see like a way of like this? I mean, obviously being successful, but like, what does that look like to you?
Um, so considering that like a lot of bands and a lot of music that I'm into, those guys, and there are a lot of guys, I will say, but a lot of people have regular jobs. Like they go on tour and they play and then they go back in the studio. And to me, that's not actually a bad thing. Like the idea, so what I'm trying to say is like my goal is not to have, I don't have a financial goal with music because I just don't give a shit. But what I do care about and what I do want more is I would like to reach a larger audience just to have, because I think that like I do believe in the music that I'm making and the videos and stuff like that. And I think there is an audience for stuff and it's just about finding them. So in that way, yeah, I do need, it is nice to be here as long as you don't get like sucked into the entire machine of it and get disgruntled and discouraged and everything. But
Disgruntled and then discouraged.
no, but that's why I don't at all want to depend on music for money because like I want to like have it be if I want to work with some people here but only with that in mind, like to reach a broader audience. I don't give a shit about the money aspect of it because, like, if some money comes out of it, great. But if that's the motivating factor, in my opinion, not with everybody, but a lot of people are going to set themselves up for failure. So, like, yeah, I basically like I just want to keep creating shit. I'm always going to do it, and I just want to find the audience for it, and yeah, get some more people to listen because honestly, I love performing and being back at like I have a show coming up this weekend in Joshua Tree,
Nice.
and Joshua Tree is I got some friends out there. Yeah, I love playing out there. Man, like it's really different. Like LA, I'll be honest, like I played a lot of shows in LA, but they weren't like the best shows that they could be. And when I've played other places,
LA has the worst audiences.
it's not just that. It's not even just that because
It's
the
not just
audience is
music. It's like sometimes stand-up comedy or whatever. The audience, because everyone's in the fucking industry, so everyone's either showing somebody or how they can use you or how they can be used or get you. There's no one's really watching. I took a chick to a fucking stand-up the Upright Citizens Brigade, and we got like UCB, and she didn't. She's embarrassing because she wasn't even paying attention to the comedy. She was more like trying to extrapolate how they are doing what they're doing. And that's so stupid.
There is that aspect of it, and I know that audiences get blamed a lot for that, but also in my experience, it also has to do with promoters because the way that they put together, this might have changed in the last 15 years. I've been gone,
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah, Back to the Future situation going on.
huh?
You have a Back to the Future situation going on. You know when he goes back to the old town and he's like
Yeah. But it used to be that like so I worked with some promoters just to get shows and everything, and dude, they would there's a lack of a community aspect here because like in music I would be playing shows, like I would have like a 10 o'clock spot or something, so there'd be like an opener who would probably be like somebody solo or something, and then it'd be like hip hop, and then it'd be me, and then it'd be a metal band. You know, it was just like complete nonsense. And I remember playing so many of those nights where everyone would like, this was the most irritating thing for me. This is why I don't just blame the audiences. Like I would get on stage and the place would be full, and then they were full from, like half or more than half the people were from the other band that played before me or whatever. And then they would like all walk out when their friend was done.
Yeah.
Because like that's all, and that is like the shittiest thing. So like whenever I would book stuff where I booked the whole night and I was promoting it, I started doing that a little bit out here. I would make sure in those days sending out emails, to everybody, and I'd be like, I will be there at 8 o'clock. You, my people, my friends, fans, whoever you are, come at 8 o'clock and you stay for the whole night. We're gonna hang out, and then we'll hang out afterwards. And then like when you create a night like that, it's really cool, and then people discover music. But yeah, this place always had that problem for me, is that so yes, you can blame audiences a bit, but I also tend to think it's just the way that things are promoted and the way that things are programmed was like always, it just never made sense.
I think it's a combination of both. I had a fucking guy. We took some friends. We went to the Comedy Store, and this fucking guy next to me fucking whips out his phone and starts texting during the fucking comedy show.
Well, they lock them up now at the Comedy Store.
We were in the back. We were guests of one of the comedians.
Yeah.
So I don't know how he was doing this, but I was like, dude, I actually had to walk. I actually sat across the room from him because that's so.
Yeah.
It's just that stuff just makes me crazy. Just
yeah. I'll tell you though, I went to the Comedy Store when I first got here on a Tuesday night, and I saw all sorts of fucking famous people, and it was amazing. I paid $25 for a ticket.
Yeah, it was great.
I got like 4 hours of fucking comedy that was like pretty much all great. Yeah, but they did lock up everyone's phones, which was
good.
Which
I don't know how he got his phone in. But yeah, Comedy Store is fucking great. I mean, I'm not trying to diss it, but there's just this one thing that was an example of a bad audience.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I've played in Joshua Tree a couple times now.
Oh, Joshua Tree is great.
I love that because like I played at a place. The last show was like I'd only been here for like 2 weeks or something. I went out and played a show at First World. It's owned by this guy Bobby First, like Furst. Apparently, like it's a really cool place. Apparently, he's really sick, so they're gonna close it down, which sucks. But yeah, wow. I played and I was opening because I'm like solo acoustic guy, and it was an EP release for a friend of mine, and I was shocked at how warm they were. Like all the people were like so open. Like I played the first song and they were just like the applause, like because I mean I've played a lot of shows in my life, like that type of response was like shocking to me. I was like, holy shit, and they were all coming up afterwards, like knowing specific names of songs, and they're like, when are you playing again and all this stuff. And I actually have been back there at Joshua Tree on another occasion in the last couple of weeks. I was at the Art Walk place where I got friends that have a gallery out there. And
which one?
Yes,
which gallery? Which gallery?
It's relatively new. It's called Coyote Little Gallery. Okay. It's on the Art Queen place right next to the entrance to Joshua Tree to the park.
Okay.
But yeah, they've been there for only less than a year, I think. But it's really cool, little tiny gallery, but like really cool. But yeah, and some random dude just walked up and was like, "Hey, I saw you at First World." It's like such a small place, and they really like support each other. So I'm playing the place. I can plug my buddy's stuff because it's really cool. My buddy out there, his name is Paulo Santo, his stage name, and he puts together these things called homestead sessions at his house, and then they have they have these homesteads, these little shack things behind their houses. So and then he like has like an open air concert that he's been doing for like a couple years, and at this point it's like pretty big, and like people come from all over Yucca Valley, Joshua Tree, and 29 Palms, whatever, and they're all just chilling outside. You know, there's I think it's catered to, like there's food you can buy there, and people just bring their own alcohol and just chill out under the stars, and like it's a dream to play stuff like that. So when I think about like LA, I'm gonna ease my way into it, but I need to get some really good quality shows under my belt first, and then I can kind of, you gotta have a little bit, like also at this age, when I was like, first starting out here, I was like 20 years old, 21 when I started performing, and back then I didn't give a shit. I'd do whatever, they wanted me to sell tickets, I'd sell fucking tickets, like. I remember like just being super happy to play on the Sunset Strip because fucking Guns N' Roses played there, So then, oh yeah, here, sell these 30 tickets to all your friends, I would do that shit, and I won't do anything like that anymore. So like my whole thing is like it has to be a good show. It has to have the potential to be a good show. I don't care about the money that much because I know there's like they're acting like they got no money here to pay anybody. But you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
so like
they I think LA is in a weird way a little spoily because they get the best of the best for free. They get so much good, like you paying $25 to see like amazing like 5-star comics in one night. Just I mean you have to get there, the parking and all that shit, but and also live in LA to do that. But the you don't have to be in LA, but you can visit LA and go there. But I think even with the amount of I don't know. I just seem I don't. I mean, I don't want you to think that I hate LA. I mean, I love LA. I lived there for 30 years, but it's like they get so much thrown at them that they're a little like I don't know. They have it too good sometimes.
oh, definitely. I'm sure that's changed, but when I was living here back then, the like Hollywood, the like West Hollywood, that had like this air of I remember it was complete bullshit, but it was like you're gonna pay to play basically to play in West Hollywood because the Doors played here and because because like there was always this they always used to do this thing like maybe there's gonna be some producers there, like come on. I mean we're in a different time now where
Oh yeah, I've had people saying, "Oh, I'll do this artwork for this price," and I was like, "Dude, that's so cheap." He goes, "But you'll be known and associated with this forever, and
yeah.
you'll be associated with this iconic place." I was like, "I don't need
Yeah.
that. I need money, or like like for that because of materials and stuff like that." But like doing it for to be look at I'm associated with these guys. What does that do for me?
Yeah. No, I mean like the thing like so I've speaking of that specifically, like I've lived in Europe for a long time. I played shows out there. This idea exists everywhere, playing for exposure, right? But the difference is they don't have the kind of like name, like they don't have the whiskey or the Roxy or whatever, like so. If they tell you you're playing for exposure here, like especially if you're like new here in LA,
Yeah,
you might be like, oh okay, like.
oh, fantastic! It's a
Yeah.
Doors player. Yeah,
But if they're telling you something,
for half an hour.
yeah, but if they're telling you some like random club or restaurant out there to like go and play for exposure, it's like why, But so I get how people. I mean, like I said, I did it when I first moved here. I totally like fucking ate it on money wise, like, and, like all that shit of like getting my friends to buy tickets like back then for like $10. I was like, wow, I was playing $10 shows.
Yeah, nobody had any money.
No, nobody got it. And you would only get paid. I remember the deals too, because they'd be like, this is like my first couple shows before I got wise to it. It was like, here, sell these 30 tickets to basically your friends, because when you don't have a following, you're selling to your friends, and I didn't have a following. So I'd sell the tickets, and luckily enough, I had really, really supportive friends, and I could actually sell most tickets a lot of times. I had people coming to support me.
I think
but they were pretty
much shows for sure, like me, Sean, Mariah, and all those guys. You're in that crew, right? Mariah and Sean, and who's the other Greg, the neighbors.
I don't no.
Dude, were you around when Tim was there?
That was right after, I think right after my time there.
Okay.
I was like in the house with Tara and Brad and those guys.
Tara,
Anyway,
Tara
oh,
Cash.
and Spencer. I don't know if you remember.
Spencer. He's on the podcast. He's an actor. He's still doing good.
Yeah, I saw him recently. Yeah.
Tara Cash. What a crazy lady. She was stunning.
Tara Cash? No, it's not Tara Cash. Anyways, we don't need to mention specific names on here. But
okay. This is just for us, anyways. No one's gonna watch this.
all right, okay. It was Tara that had the dog Foster.
Oh, Tara Schultz.
Tara Schultz. Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah. I was there at that time.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, Tara's a sweetheart.
Yeah. But yeah. Oh, anyways, yeah, I was saying like I would sell tickets and stuff. And then they would do this thing where, oh my God, they would say, okay, you get paid. It was like you get paid on the 31st ticket. You get paid, but you didn't even get 100%. So you'd sell all the 30 tickets to all your friends, and then on the 31st ticket, you would get like a percentage of that ticket. You wouldn't even get so like if it was $10, they all cost $10.
Harsh. That's harsh.
Yeah, they all cost $10.
And you have to create the music and be the musician and the promoter and
they're making money at the bar because all your friends are drinking at the bar. The whole. I mean, I will say though that it goes the other way too, where I understand why they do it because like you got all sorts of people. There's so many musicians here that don't have followings that if it was up to them, they just want to go play and it'll be like 5 people in the audience. That is a fucked up night for a bar owner, because they're like eating shit on that, like they have to pay personnel and everything. So I understand why it exists, but it's just like, yeah, there needs to be like a proper business deal done, but anyways, yeah, I remember all sorts of shit like that where they used to, oh my God, all right, then I'll stop talking about this, but they used to have these lists, like even when I wasn't doing that anymore, the tickets thing, I was playing with another group and this was in like, I don't know if it was in K-Town or whatever, I remember a specific show, or maybe downtown, but like, yeah, there was like, they would have a list outside the door and oh my God, they'd be asking they would have a whole night booked of, 4 acts or whatever. And the person standing at the door, which oftentimes was the manager, would be like asking every person that came in, like, who are you here to see? Which is also fucking weird, right? So then they'd say like, I'm here to see Sahil. And then they put like a mark down. And then like, and you had like a quota that you had to make, in order to get paid. And if you came up like 2 people short of like, say 30 people or whatever it was for that night, you would get $0. And then like, if you went above it, you would get like a percentage of the whole thing. And you wouldn't even get drinks. They would be like, you didn't have enough, like they would charge you for a beer. Like it was super fucking.
Where was this place?
That was, I mean, this happened more than once. That was like this fucking sushi place that was also a venue. Do you know what I'm talking about? I
had my artwork at, is it?
No, I don't know where that was. Where was the place?
It was in K-Town like a million years ago.
Yeah, it might have been. It was something sushi. Like, I don't know if it was a woman's name or something like that. I can't remember.
How come no one's come up with a Sushi Mushi restaurant? That's an obvious one. Sushi Mushi. There you go.
I don't know.
So that's indicative of this kind of shit that was happening to you as to try to fucking play and make money from it.
It wasn't even that. It was just I wasn't even trying to make money, but at some point after you do it for a couple of years, you're like,
oh,
dude, like, come on, like, especially because like I was always bringing people. I was never somebody that would just go and play and like have nobody there, And then it was like, it just got kind of old because I was, I stopped doing that though. And as a solo person, I will say there was a time when they had really nice. They started these like songwriter nights.
Yeah.
I remember playing at like the Cat Club, I think. Does that still exist?
The Cat Club? Is it a Cat Club? No.
Yeah, it was on Sunset somewhere in Hollywood.
I don't know.
I don't know. But,
I'm sure it probably doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, a lot of places are different, but they had like a songwriter night, which is super cool. It was like on a weeknight, and those started popping up back then. They were more like showcases, and you actually could show up and not have like to hustle and bring a bunch of people, and there would be like a little bit of an audience there because they were there just for the night because they sort of built it up. So like I think that's what needs to happen, and I'm hoping that it has happened, that they've figured that out, that you need to have the venue have a following, like not the, because then you have I mean, for them it works out too. If the venue has a following and they're guaranteed a certain amount of people just by being that venue, and then they book someone who brings people, like you have a successful night,
Yeah.
guaranteed. So that's the way it should go. I'm hoping that they figure that out. I don't know. Like I said, I gotta play some good shows before I take a chance.
Yeah, yeah. There's a guy named Paul Chesney that plays a lot in Joshua Tree. I should hook you up with him. He's really cool. He's I met him over when we were doing Stronghold events over there on Abercrombie. But he's always playing. Have you heard of this guy, Paul Chesney?
No, but I bet you anything that I know people that know him.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. It's a small community.
Yeah.
I'll send you a link to one of his stuff. But you guys should definitely go in cahoots. I'm sure you guys will get along
Cool.
perfectly. And the whole Joshua Tree is just a great scene. Now they do, it's like being in an old country town or an old like western town at night. I mean, the scenes are pretty nice. I mean, I went to a couple of shows there, and it's also great concerts.
Yeah, my one of my best friends is the head bartender at Pappy and Harriet's, and so I go there and hang out, and it's good, man. I see a lot of good music there, and it's still got a rock vibe too. Like it has the whole because stoner rock is so much of it is from the desert, They definitely are on that, and I love that stuff, man. So I enjoy it out there.
Yeah, there's some great places to trip on mushrooms there too, like some Airbnbs that are all
Oh, right. Yeah.
Airbnb that had like a jacuzzi, but also had a boat, which
Yeah.
had all these places like a couch, and then there's this little place with a record player in it.
I was almost gonna stay there at the place with the record player.
Really, it's like a little record player room, and
Yeah, and it's really small.
Jimmy Buffett there. That was a Jimmy Buffett record. I think we might have destroyed that record playing it 1,000 times.
Hopefully, yeah. Sorry.
So we'll wrap it up. We'll take it off, and we did a lot. I don't even know. I stopped. I didn't really put the timer on, but so you're back, and you got all this wisdom of.
Wait, are you recording right now?
Yeah.
Okay, because it doesn't show me. But yeah, right on.
It better be recording. It says recording.
Okay, cool.
Gosh, is it? Should I pause it and see if it's recording? It's recording.
Okay.
I always get paranoid about that shit, dude.
No, because it showed me before, but now it doesn't say it. So I was wondering. Yeah.
Huh. Recording. Should I pause it? Hey, let me pause it. Woo.
Maybe it just shows me in the beginning.
That shit that shit makes me so paranoid. Like, no.
Sorry. No, it was because I heard it say recording stop. Yeah.
Okay. So this is gonna be first of all, you look good. You look great. You haven't aged in fucking a million years. And the music is great. So you've been progressing, and we haven't talked about politics at all. But do you because I just feel like you've been in Amsterdam or The Hague, and you've been off this grid for a little bit. It just seems like you're all virginal again. And an aspect there's you're coming in a little you don't have the LA on stink on you yet.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's 100% true. I actually also got pretty early on here, and I'm not going to get into specifics on it, but something happened where I got kind of fucked over in a way, and I was like, oh,
LA, you.
Seriously, and I had been gone for so long, and I was like, now I remember. You gotta fucking have a guard up, and so now I'm back. Now I'm back, my bullshit radar.
I know I feel so naive when I come through. I mean, when I first got to LA when I was 25, I must have looked like a mark. I mean, I was giving my money to homeless people. I was like, la 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 la. I was like, wait, I don't have any money now.
Dude, I remember. That's a funny one though. All right, sorry. I don't seem to. Yeah, okay. No, but I had this girlfriend when I was 18 when I moved here, right? So, and then I was like 19. I had this girlfriend, and we were like really wanting to do good. We like we were living. I was living in this commune place. Like I didn't even have a proper apartment, right? Like so, didn't have money. So we were like, we're gonna go get all these like bread and peanut butter and jelly, and we're gonna make all these sandwiches and go down to the beach, Santa Monica, and we're gonna give them to the homeless people, right? That was the first like moment where I was like, what the fuck is going on here? We made all these sandwiches. We spent a lot of time. We went down with like a big bag of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, like
Yeah,
tons.
what a beautiful people you are. You just like that's the selflessness. That's that selflessness that you have as a youth.
I
Yeah,
know. I would never do that now. It's true. But like, so we took them
you would
down
do it
there.
now. You would do it, still do it now. Come on. You
I
make
wouldn't.
me
Well,
still
I'll tell you why I wouldn't do this because we went down there and like we had this fucking had this bag we took all the way down there and we're going up to people and we're like, hey, do you want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? You know, you can just have one. And like, I shit you not, the majority of the homeless people were like, do you have any turkey or do you have like chicken? And we're just like, no, we only have peanut butter and jelly. And they were like, which fine, fair enough. But like, it was kind of like this idea that I had was like that these guys just they'll take some food. But it was like sort of shattered because I was like, oh no, they're like they really wanted like specific types of sandwiches, you know.
I did this. Claude had a girlfriend, and we're in Westwood. We went out to this fucking place that had this really spicy food, noodles. Right, we're in
Yeah.
Westwood. We're over there. I'll try to make this quick, but it's the fucking funniest fucking thing. I got to put it in a movie. She couldn't finish it. It was so fucking spicy. This crazy spicy Indian food, right? Like just like it's on with noodles and chicken and all this shit. It's good, but it was like it burns her brains out, right? So we took it to go, and we went walking into towards the Fox Theater and UCLA area, and this rather regal, handsome black homeless man with a shirt on and very with like an ascot or something like that, and she goes, well, hey, do you want this food? And he goes, yes, but when one delivers, and one must receive from the left hand and not the right hand. And she goes, okay, so I will receive the food on this hand. So great. Oh, great. Awesome. Enjoy. It's really hot. And wait. We walked, and it was such an off turn. Like he was very like, I won't take it if you don't offer it to me the right way. And I was like, we're like, what the fuck is that? And and like because it's like a 30, it's a $25 soup, it's like but we remembered how hot it was. And
Oh yeah.
we got to tell him, we kind of glossed over it. But so we all looked at each other, we're walking away from him, and we all turn around and said, wait, holy shit, hold on, that's like lava. And we all look back at him, and he's like, right, he's got the bowl raised to his head, and he's like, and we all like bent over cracking up. It was not on purpose. It was not on purpose. He shouldn't have inhaled it like that. And it was like he was like, just like, anyways.
Oh man.
That was I gotta put that in a movie. But yeah, it's people are very specific. It's to what they get.
Yeah, we went home with like a bag of fucking peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, just like what the fuck, you know?
Can't get
Like,
it.
we didn't have that much money to like spend on that shit. Yeah, anyways, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But,
Well, Venice is a trip. LA is a trip. I believe in your talent for sure. I think you're gonna rock out. But yeah, you go. I feel like I'm a little naive still when I go over there, and like you get a little yeah. Like, can you describe what happened or that story? What made you realize?
no, I don't want to get into it.
Oh yeah. Can you paraphrase it?
No, it was just I'll say really loosely that it was just a situation where I was getting into some sort of deal that I thought was a certain way, and I was like making a handshake deal on something like a fucking idiot, and then it turned out, of course, that it was like I got bullshitted, and it sort of ended up putting me in a bit more financial stress than I would have been in. So, and then but it was just like, of course, you fucking idiot, like to myself, like, you sign a contract. But I had like the place I had been in the Netherlands. I will say that it is not with everything. You still have like landlords trying to fuck people over, stuff like that. But like job wise and things like that, there it's like very in my experience, it's like it's straightforward. It's a bit more honest, like so yeah, that was just like this one moment early on. I was like, oh, like of course, forgot. You gotta be like smart and be on guard. I mean, that's one of the reasons that I went and got a degree in music business, because I'd had some situations like that out here before that, and I was like, this shit's crazy. I need to know what's going on because I didn't know anything about the business really, and then that was my motivation. I went and I got a degree in it. So I wasn't trying to like work as an executive or something in the industry. I was just like, I need to like watch out for myself. So I got educated.
Yeah, I mean, you hear those fucking nightmare stories like Billy Joel and stuff like that. You know his nightmare story, right? His manager like took like millions of dollars from him.
Yeah, Leonard Cohen had
20
it.
years or something. I don't know the exact details, but I mean, he knew this guy for fucking. They grew up together and shit practically, man. And they fucking took his ass. He
Really?
lost so much shit.
Yeah. Yeah, Leonard Cohen had that. His lawyer ran off with his money or something. That's why he ended up going back out on tour when he was like in his 70s. Yeah, really. And I think he was enjoying himself, but the motivation was that he didn't have any money. Like crazy, at that age.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. The music industry. I mean, self-publishing. I mean, I guess if you get picked up, also, I had some friends that have sold like some of their songs to like TV shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean that's where the money is in licensing for sure.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean that's like because even now, like I think touring is still difficult. So yeah, if you can be like booking tours by your like on your own, selling your merch where you're taking 100% of the profit, that's a hustle. You can kind of get by, but I think like stuff like that, licensing for film and TV is like is really strong, especially right now with so many series out there, that people are watching. It's like I think it might be kind of a good time for that, honestly.
yeah. Well, I mean, like, look at Mazzy. I've been a huge Mazzy Star fan for fucking ever, and they don't. They must have some. They must be resting on that kind of money from their because they've got so much of their music in movies. Like
Yeah,
just because it's a class, they have a classic sound and very ethereal and beautiful, but timeless. But it's
yeah,
like with Natural Born Killers
yeah.
and all, I don't know. Same with groups like who another one is Cowboy Junkies.
Yeah, yeah.
They were I saw
Similar
those
vibe.
guys. I saw them in Venice, or actually in the Marina del Rey. They had an outdoor concert over there. If you see that there's some concerts in the park over there in Marina del Rey, they have some great shows. I saw Cowboy Junkies there. She
Oh,
sounded fucking amazing.
nice. Oh, I'll check that out then.
But I don't know if she'll come back. But they do concerts in the park over there, and they're like those boats all around and shit going back and forth. This is a nice outdoor event if you get to the west side. But
Yeah, I used to go to the ones on the pier, the Santa Monica Pier back then, the Twilight Dance series. You remember that?
yeah,
I saw like Dick Dale there.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
That was cool. I saw a couple cool people. One time I was walking by that my brother and his and my sister-in-law came to visit. They were here just for like a couple days or something, and she's a huge fan of Fall Out Boy.
Okay.
And I don't like them at all, right? But we were walking by the pier, and it happened to be that Fall Out Boy was playing there for a free concert. She was like lost her mind. We went and saw Fall Out Boy. She's super happy. That was yeah, that was a cool series. I saw the Staple Singers back then, long time ago. There, that was also rad. Yeah, I wonder if they still do it.
I think they do.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to look into that too.
I think they do. There's
See, there's good shit around.
no LA is a great place. I mean, I guess
I know what you mean.
I mean, it's a great place. I mean, I'm not. I guess I just, I'm looking for something else right now.
Yeah, I
I
get
don't
it.
want to do the same thing, but not saying that it is. But I don't know. It's gonna be nice to edit all that footage, and I'm gonna do some more filming on this film called The Stabbing Cabin. I'm gonna go Joseph, Oregon, for about 10 days and do some stuff and make a little another movie that
Nice.
was there. But um yeah, if you ever want to collaborate on some music, let me know. Or if you see something, a film that you like that you want to do some music on, let me know.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll let you know, man.
but there's always these new things. Stabbing cabins is gonna be fun.
Stat.
But stabbing cabin. Welcome to the stabbing cabin. Um, but that's a horror film. That's anyways, it's doing something that doesn't cost any money, so I'm just using all the pieces of Buffalo, just kind of throwing everything together. Should be a good time. It's gonna be a good time. Are you gonna do you when now that you're situated in LA,
Yeah.
did I mean now that and you got this music that you're finalizing and doing
Yep.
where are you doing tracks out of a house or are you doing where's your do you know the guy or the studio? Have you worked with those guys before, the studio that you're polishing this stuff off with? Like the
I haven't chosen it yet. I've gotten like I know a couple people that that are engineers, like they can work in a couple different studios. But I'm kind of like yeah, trying to I just started kind of looking like a week or two ago. And then I was like looking out in Joshua Tree also because I like the vibe out there. Um, I went to a place that, I've been checking out different places and kind of I almost would rather do it out there. I kind of like the idea of having this really peaceful vibe and like being in the desert and like, taking because doing it here, I don't know, you're like in the city and it's like has that kind of like
manic,
huh?
manic.
Yeah, also, and just like going in a studio, I think that like studios have like a vibe to them all. And there's just a lot, this is like a grind here, So like it's almost like I'd rather go like somewhere where I can just like, yeah, get that place with the record player out in Joshua Tree, like sit
Yeah.
on stars,
Just
whatever.
get a mic, and go in the middle of the night and lay down the tracks. And in the dead of the we get the wind or a subtle breeze or a coyote coming. Maybe I don't know. You can do some fun stuff.
I would do that. Like that
But
actually
then
I
you
want
might put your body and your microphone. What happened to him? Oh, he got eaten by a bunch of dogs. He was so close. He's so close to finishing that fucking album.
Yeah, the issue that I have is that we did such a the recordings of the actual band is like so fucking high quality that now I have to match that. So I actually have to go and like use a really expensive microphone with really expensive preamps and it's nothing that I have or that I could afford. So I have to go to a studio for it. So that's what I'm dealing with. But like I have a bunch of songs that I want to record acoustic, like more stripped down. They're all ready to go. I just gotta like sit down and record them, and I'm gonna do those in the kind of homeschool way. So that might be an idea to go out to Joshua Tree just with my mic and everything and do them.
Joshua Tree is great. Just even the sound of doing that sounds so much better than being in the closet in fucking West Hollywood and like
Yeah, totally.
doing it on a mic with no room.
That's a really good idea because really that I have this already, like those songs ready to record for this like kind of acoustic EP I want to do. There's like about 5 songs or something, and I was thinking about doing them like at home, but that you gave me a really good idea. Just go get a little cheap Airbnb out there with some nice atmosphere and just do it. That'd be awesome, man. Just like take a weekend and get it done, like in one weekend, and then come back and have a finished product and like mix it here and everything.
Plus, there's a magical element to Joshua Tree that is very, I don't. We used to go to moon tribes and stuff like that, but like waking up in Joshua Tree where you see like the shadow of the mountains is this faded sort of purple,
Yeah, man.
kind of like, and as the sun comes up and you see all Indian heads and well, I was
Yeah.
also tripping on mushrooms when I was there too. So there's Indian heads in the mountains and in the purple shade, there's a lot going on there too. But yeah, I have a friend that has an Airbnb, but you can find your own cheap Airbnb out there. I do have some friends
There's
that
so many, man. They're really affordable, and I don't need much. I just, yeah, it just has to be, I guess, like a decent time of year. But
you want to feel safe though too.
yeah,
It'd be like, in like some crackhead section of, you got these, meth heads and like, hey man, let me play the guitar.
that's true.
How'd you find me? I'm in the middle of nowhere. But then maybe that's Willie Nelson comes up on you like, hey son, you're like an archangel. It'd be like a It's a Wonderful Life sort of moment again. Like
Yeah, when Willie Nelson does the Guardian Angel.
Well, there must be like you never met Tim. He's a musician too. Maybe he used to have a studio. I don't know. Go to Joshua Tree, figure it out. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
You'll,
I think I'm gonna do that, man. That's a great idea. And then also it gives it like I can't let it continue for too long, because sometimes these projects like you can work on them forever. But if I just take like a couple days, it's like when I come back, it has to be done. Like that's a really cool way to do it. I'll just practice a lot here and go out and nail it.
yeah.
Thank you for that, because I'm really gonna do that now.
I thought you thought of the idea.
I thought of the idea of recording it like acoustic and at home, but I was gonna do it at home. Like I
Okay.
thought, no, Joshua Tree, I was thinking to do the vocals for this
Hmm.
this next one, but I'm talking about the project after this. I basically want to have like a shitload of things to keep releasing for the next like year and a half. That's kind of my plan, so that I can kind of like do all the content, and then
Yeah, yeah. You're what do they call it? You're stacking.
yeah, and then just like feel really good putting it all out there, and then with the algorithms and everything, that apparently helps, like so.
Or
Yeah,
do you have your
that's
own YouTube channel and stuff like that now?
yeah. That's where anytime you've seen the those videos, they're on my YouTube channel.
Can you plug your YouTube channel?
Oh yeah, it is youtube.com. Sahil Ball Music, SAHILBAHL Music. And you can see, yeah, I got a bunch of music videos on there and some live performances, and yeah, more stuff coming.
Are you doing the socials? Are you doing the socials? uh,
Yeah, yeah, I
what
have
information do you like?
I'm not somebody, I have Instagram, Facebook, all that. I don't have TikTok. But yeah, I have them. They're also all the same Sahil Ball Music. So if you find me on YouTube, it's that one, Instagram, Facebook. Uh, and then,
Did you ever make a website?
yeah, I have a website also. It's Sahil Ball, SAHILBAHL.com. And so you can find actually all of this there, all the links to all the social media, and actually the videos are embedded on the website. Not this last one, but there are videos on there. That's yeah, and it takes you to the channel. So yeah, thanks for that. I do have a website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so before we go, we'll leave here. But what are we got to talk about the white elephant in the room? ChatGPT, AI, or AI. What do you know a world without that, such as I do, and now that it's kind of coming into play more and
Yeah.
more with, I'm seeing more visual stuff, but in the music industry, like, I don't know, man, what's happening? How do you feel about it?
Uh,
Any thoughts?
I have thoughts. I haven't quite organized them all, but I will say like because I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about it. Um, I got this the like yeah, I've heard a bunch of AI music because now you can. I was working someplace at this film thing, and there was a guy that was playing all this like these AI songs that he would make, and then he would like it was kind of funny because he would make them about every person that was working there. So he had like the show caller, and the show caller would walk in, and he'd have like a theme song that was like all AI made. And so I listened to a lot of it because of that. And the most shocking thing was that when I was kind of like, oh shit, is that the mixes were good. Because the two things that AI for me musically had not been able to do were mix well and um, live instruments, which they still can't do for shit. Like if you have like a guitar, like it sounds like a fucking robot. And I hope that it stays that way. But but I was really shocked. I was like, this is a good fucking mix, man, because we were hearing everything on like theater speakers, like with surrounds and everything, and it was like, fuck, it's really good. So yeah, how do I feel? I mean, you can't if you full on reject this stuff, you're gonna get left in the dust. So like, I don't want to do that. I think that it can be really useful. What the way I see it is like for things like mixing and mastering and stuff like that, which unfortunately also puts people out of jobs. You know, um, but like some of oh man, this sounds now I don't want to like offend anybody, but I just see that there could be certain ways that like say like an artist who doesn't have like a following, doesn't have a label or anything like that, then you're like self-financing everything. That you can kind of like I've heard of this with film too. That like say you want to do arrangements and stuff like that. They can use it to like get an idea to try stuff out without like putting a ton of money into it. You know, like say you're like I want to see what it'd sound like to have like a string quartet play on this thing, right?
Mhm.
And so like then you get some like basic version of a string quartet. The nice thing that I'm saying would to be that if you then went out and you heard it and you're like, oh, that works, and then I'm gonna go and hire a string quartet.
Yeah, for real.
You know, probably that's not gonna happen with a lot of people. But if people use it like that, I think like with all this stuff, like hybrid versions are the best result. Like it's not AI, but for instance, I shouldn't talk about that either. But it's like they're supposedly on the same rock or something, you know, like,
Yeah.
but no, they're in two different fucking worlds, and we're not stupid. Our eyes don't lie to us, you know, like, and you can see it, and it's just not as effective. But you go and look at those old ones, you're like, oh, you know, this is so. What I'm saying about AI is like I do think that if there are ways, because they're using it a lot in a lot of things already, you know, and people don't want to talk about it. But like, yeah, there are ways I'm sure that it can be used like that, and then it can, you know, that can be creative, you
Yeah.
know. But as far as like fully AI, like having AI pop stars and shit, we're definitely gonna have all this stuff. Um, and that is like really sad to me, and you know, because it's lazy, it's fucking lazy, you know. Like so, what I'm saying is, if you use it as a tool to do some work, you're gonna have a nice result, and it's gonna be something that still has like human creativity in it. But if you just like allow, the other problem I have with it with music is if you're, because AI, as far as I understand it, and I don't know that much, but it's like based on, you know, it's trained on things that already exist. You could argue that we all are, that as humans too, we listen to things and then we put out stuff that is just like reorganizing the things. As an artist, you look at things and take it in and you put it out. You know, like you could argue that also, but the thing is like with AI, I feel like it's on a much more superficial level. You know, that that it's like you run the risk of, yeah, just completely regurgitating like stuff that's already been done. And then where you just sit here in this like continuous nostalgia that we're in right now with music especially, and with film, you know, like and that we're just like not creating anything new. You know,
Yeah.
like that's a danger that I see. And then some people might argue, but like I said, that we humans, we've been doing that and nothing we do is new because it's all based on past experiences. But so I don't know. But I like being a human. I like creating things from my human perspective, and I like listening to shit and watching shit that's created from a human perspective. But I also know that I've probably seen some things that I liked where AI was used as a tool, you know, like because it is in use right now. Like maybe some really like some of the series now are like super cinematic, you know, like say White Lotus or something. I don't know if you watched that, but
But I know about it.
I mean, it deserves like just looking at it cinematography wise, it deserves a theatrical release almost
Yeah.
because it just looks so amazing and the sound is good. And I'm sure that in different aspects of this, they've used AI to like save some time to then use their creativity on other things. And that is, I have no problem with that, you know, like they're making good shit.
Yeah, it's a delicate balance. It's like you want it's like yeah, it's a lot it conjures up a lot of emotions because it's a tool, but also it's what it's not good at now, it's that's not gonna last very long where it actually really becomes super good. Like where people start falling in love with, you know, CGI characters and they don't need that anyways. There's it's gonna get really real where I guess maybe just like it's like I don't know, a lot of the paint it looks too a lot of the like what's happening that I've been noticing a lot and it's just a small thing, but like all these fucking thumbnails of fucking podcasts or shows,
Yeah.
the AI image that they're putting up in these thumbnails is like it's like a, too
Yeah.
much color, too much. It's not it's synthetic, you know. And they've been doing these things with celebrities and their birthday cakes.
I haven't seen that.
Anyways, it's on Facebook. They're putting celebrities that are past or even alive or dead. It's too much. It's synthetic looking. It's not heart.
Yeah.
But it will probably have a time where it absolutely gets to that point where it does have all those human characteristics, like that a thumbprint of something that you didn't like a scratch in the guitar riff, or something that's more fallible and human, but makes something special. But yeah, it's a trip. Like, but yeah, people. I think Natasha Lyonne's doing a feature film that's all AI,
Right.
and so I mean, my friend put in the song for this thing that he's working on, and that made ChatGPT did this country song for him. And he showed it to me, and he goes, "Don't, isn't it great?" I was like, kind of like, I mean, I'm all visual, but I mean, just kind of little, but it made it in like 5 seconds with no it cost him nothing, no band, no
Yeah.
hair, no nothing, no studio,
Yeah.
no lyrics to write.
Yeah. The
Just
interesting, the really interesting thing about this for me is that even before it became a thing, like AI has been around for a long time, but even before this, like, it became so apparent that, oh shit, like this is happening now, that it's taking over like these certain industries, right? Like music, film, stuff like this. But like if you look at the direction that humans, what they did with music, what we did with music, like as far as like pop music, like going back to like in the early 2000s and stuff with vocal what do you call it
auto tune.
with auto tune, right? Like right now it's the same thing though, because like back then it was when Cher had that song Believe, that was like the first big, and then it's like it was like that, right? And now, dude, everyone uses it, and you have this case where people can't. There's a lot of people that can't really sing very well, and then they can sing good enough where you can tune it up, and then if and they tune them live, right? So like, and humans did that. You know what I mean? That wasn't AI. So like humans already created this world that is very unhuman. Like you have like certain like even really good singers like you know what I mean? Like
Auto tune always auto tune. Every time I am around auto tune, or I kind of glimpse of the ear, or on a radio, or in live, or I remember like one of the first times I heard it was this kid was at that place that was on Washington and the boardwalk. It was that beer. It was a bar that we all used to go, like Danny's, I think.
Yeah.
And this kid was playing live, and he started like playing his like whatever autotune sounds like. I was like, what? He's playing like what the fuck is that? And I guess he played like 3 or 4 songs using. It was like that was bullshit. What was that? And I guess that might have been related to Sissy Spacek. Sissy Spacek was there with him, and I was like, what is kind of an auto tune, like what is people making, is that a real thing? Because it seemed like kind of like it wasn't like it was parody, like it was like a almost like a Weird Al Yankovic thing or something. But then now you got like everybody, like I remember seeing this performance that Kanye did, and where he just stood there and there was just auto tune and he was just talking shit. And I was like, this is bullshit.
But that's the auto tune that you hear. Like it's on every single recording now, pretty much. Like they
sweeten it up, sweeten up the.
Oh, I mean, if I could, if I could show you, it's like when you're in a music recording program, there's like you have the sound file, like a wave, and then you can literally and you have a piano on this side, and you can literally see like, okay, if this is supposed to be a C, and you're sitting right under it, you can like just take it and just like drag it up to the C, and you're all of a sudden in tune. You're singing the note you're supposed to sing. Like everyone uses it, and it's no longer like it's on almost every fucking thing you hear that's been produced in the last, I don't know, 5 or 10 years.
Okay, so I hope please don't dash my dreams. I love Fish. I just saw them in concert on my birthday at the Portland Amphitheater. It was amazing. They don't use auto tune, do they?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Okay, because do you like Fish?
I've seen Fish when I was in high school. I liked them a long time ago. I'm not into them now.
If you go check them out, They're amazing.
I mean, I was a I wouldn't call myself a deadhead, but I was into the Grateful Dead, so then naturally,
Yeah.
Fish.
It was such a great show. Made a little video about it, but
That's,
the I guess so. Your thing is just to keep on getting out there and playing, tune up this record. You're not going to use auto tune. No, you're not.
I mean, look, on my last record, I'm pretty sure there was some fixing that was done on because I didn't do it. I didn't engineer it. It's like a modern approach to engineering. So no, I can tell you on the no, I mean like I talked to the engineer this last time. Yeah, there might be like a note or something that he fixes. I don't fucking know. It's like out of my hands. But
Yeah.
no, but the idea is that no, as minimal as possible. And on the one that I told you that I'm going to go out to Joshua Tree that we decided now that I'm going out to record in Joshua Tree, there will be absolutely zero of that on there. And there's zero of that on my first album also because that's just me sitting there with microphones and playing and singing. It's a live show. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a trip, man. You ever see that video of Jim Morrison predicting the future of music? You ever see
No.
that video? Jim Morrison, there's a video of him. This person asks him what the future of music is. He goes, basically, in a nutshell, he's like, oh, it's going to be controlled by one guy and some sort of keyboard thing, and they'll be able to make it all the music from there.
Yeah.
And this is like 20 years, 30 years before it actually happened. It's like
Oh, but he was wrong because it's not even going to be a guy. It's just the AI.
AI now. Now it's beyond that.
Yeah.
It's wow, you build it, push a button. I mean, yeah, well, you don't want to lose. The thing is with the AI stuff, if you push a button and you're doing these things, it's not really. I consider AI. I don't consider it art, but I'm sure they'll blend at some point. I have like some images,
They've already done. Yeah.
but they're synthetic, and I can appreciate. But like, I kind of fucked around with it a little bit on this program that I bought for a little bit, but it wasn't the idea. Like I put my script through there, like I chopped it up and put pieces of it in there. And I thought I just was so excited to see my movie in one form, but I was like, it looks nothing like what it would actually be like. And so for that purpose, it's sort of a waste of time because I
Yeah.
already know exactly what it looks like, and making that's not gonna
Yeah.
persuade anybody to give me money to make it. I don't think. But
Yeah. I mean,
cool.
from what I've so I did I worked at an AI event recently. I'm not gonna say specifically what it was, but there was a panel there, and there were some people there from pretty big studios, film studios and TV, and they were saying like how a lot of people don't want to talk about it, but it's been being used for years already, just to like speed up on stuff we've all seen, and we just don't know the specifics, but they've been using it to just speed up the process on certain aspects of the creative process for them.
Oh, I saw a dude like working on I was trying to sell some paintings in Marina Del Rey, and we went to his business, and he's doing all his digital work on like what's that talent show back then with like John Legend and Kelly Clarkson, and
I never saw it, but is that the
like a big like America's Got Talent or something like that.
yeah.
And
Okay.
he is like he's cleaning up a commercial, digitally cleaning up the basically digitally makeup being
Yeah.
them. And he showed me there's an image of no shade to anybody, but there's Kelly Clarkson. She came on, she had these wrinkles, right? He goes, oh, he's like, oh, watch this, I'll just take those away. I said, oh, you're doing it in real time. It's moving. You can, and
Wow.
so he's de-aging her. He goes, I said, how about John Legend? He goes, oh, we don't have to do anything with him. I was like, oh, he already looks that way.
Yeah. Funny.
But yeah, it's a really interesting, like then you start saying what's real and what's not, and then who cares what is and what isn't if they're enjoying it and they're getting it for free and it's feeding their content, and they just suck all the content up no matter what it looks like if it's shit. And then you got idiocracy that turns into like
Yeah.
just
But
people.
I do think to be a bit positive about it, what it does do, I think, and maybe I'm just naive and in 10 years I won't be talking like this, but I think that it makes like as far as like music goes, I can't speak for film or anything, but music like it makes real performers that much more important. I think that, you know, you're always gonna have the like masses of people flocking to pop music and stuff, but there's always gonna be people that are just craving uh genuine stuff, you know, and
Yeah.
like and I think that so that it becomes more valuable. I actually see this with live music in general. Like the pandemic had a lasting effect on making live music more special. I really feel this. Like I feel when I go to concerts still, and when I play concerts, I feel that there's because there. I don't know if you remember this shit, but during that time, all of these big companies had plans to, and you know, the metaverse was going to happen. Every fucking concert was going to take place in the metaverse. We wouldn't have to go out anymore. When they were saying that, I was like, there's no fucking way. Humans like to go out and see live shit. And what happened? As soon as the lockdowns were over, fucking everyone went on tour. They all sold out, you know, like, and we've continued. And live music is huge. And I do think it's like, it's, you know, like, so I think that something like this it's just going to make that aspect of those performers, those writers, it just makes it that much more important, you know, and that's kind of nice. Like, because in a way, the amount of those people will dwindle, I think, because it's just you can be lazy and make some fucking easy music, whatever. And then when it's all about algorithms and numbers and shit, like that's a whole thing. You crack the code and who gives a shit what the actual content is. But for people that are actually digging and like I'm always digging for new music. And I know there are a lot of people like me out there. So like yeah, they're gonna want to like I know I want to go see someone who can really fucking play and sing.
Yeah.
And I don't care if they're the best singer. You know, like I'm not a perfect singer. I don't give a shit. Like, but like some people like my voice. You know, like so that's how I am. Like, yeah, just you want to see something genuine. So I think that's the positive part of it. Is it makes that much more special
Yeah,
when
authenticity.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
People want to see the fingerprints and they want to see the scratches on the guitar. They want to see, you know,
That's a really
the
good way to
clanging
put
of
it.
you know, there's still room for reality for God's sakes.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Um, so 2025. Any predictions?
We're already in 2025. It's like almost half over, right? That's
2026. 2026. Any predictions? Anything? I don't know. Just throwing it out there. I'm spitballing because I want to. We're gonna end this soon, so I'm just throwing out any last.
Wait, by the way, what time is it? I gotta ask you.
We gotta go, huh? It's 4:15.
Oh shit, I gotta go.
Okay. Okay. So with that, Sahil, let's stay in contact. You should get a hold of Paul Chesney. Maybe I'll send you a link to one of his stuff. He's always over in Joshua Tree. He's
Yeah,
really
nice.
he's a really great
Yeah.
guy. But let's talk soon. And
Yeah,
thanks for coming on. It's so good to see you, and I'm glad. Welcome back to the States. Please bring all the knowledge of these years and flood it the creative zone with it, please.
I'll do my best. Thanks, man. It was nice to talk to you.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon, right? Let's stay in touch.
Yeah.
We're still friends, right?
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, all
All
right.
right. All right. Welcome
All right.
back, man. Welcome back. Have a good time, man.
All right. See you.
Cheers. Yay. Woo! Thanks again, man.
Bye.
Yay. That was Sahil. Well, yeah, but I didn't put the timer on. I should have done that. But anyways, welcome back to the Brets with Friends, episode 144 with Sahil Bahl, great musician. I hope you liked this video. If you're still here, congratulations, you made it through the video. Subscribe if you can, if you'd like, share. If you want to be on the show, let me know. Brettwoods.com is my website. And check out my Brett Woods 8166 page on YouTube. If you want to know about more about projects that I'm working on, or if you want to buy a painting, please get a hold of me. All right. Happy summer. Hope you're all doing well. A new edition of Stabbing Cabin in the works. Lots of videos to edit. There's so much work. Please support the show. Buy a painting. Maybe I'll put a QR code or something here. If you want to contribute or donate, let me know. All right. Thanks again. All right. Cheers. All right. Oh, there's a video. I did a trip from Oregon to LA and back. That video is coming out soon. That'll be the next video. I got to edit it. I have a rough edit right now, but woo, that's 10 days on the road real quick as a
Breads with friends, breads with friends, breads with friends, it's never going to end.
I'm Bill Blake, your new accountant from Cleveland.
Oh, bro, it's just like, dude, you get the best barrels ever, dude. Just like you pull in and you just get spit right out of them. And you just drop in and just smack the lip. Whoop-ah, drop down, snap, and then after that, you just drop in, you just ride the barrel and get pitted, so pitted like that.